Every night, millions of Americans pack their bags, head into the backcountry, and pitch tents in the middle of places like Yellowstone, Yosemite, or the Great Smoky Mountains. You are sleeping in the dead center of territories ruled by grizzly bears, wolf packs, and mountain lions, and yet almost no one ever becomes their dinner. If you really sit down and think about it, the situation seems absolutely insane. From a purely biological standpoint, you are a helpless 180-pound bag of meat. You are completely unconscious, lying flat on the ground, making noise, and entirely unable to run or defend yourself. By every law of nature, you are the perfect prey animal. So why does the wild world choose to just walk on by? Let's take a look at what's actually happening out there in the woods while you're fast asleep. Most of North America's apex predators, wolves, mountain lions, and bears, are most active during twilight and through the night. This is their prime hunting time. They are hungry, they are on the move, and rest assured, they know exactly where you are. A grizzly bear can catch your scent from 20 miles away. Under the right weather conditions, a wolf can hear your heartbeat from a solid mile off. A mountain lion could be sitting just 30 feet from your tent right now, and you would have absolutely no idea. They didn't miss you. They are making a conscious choice not to touch you. But why? Because predators in the wild aren't Hollywood movie monsters. They are built to survive. In the forest, reckless bravery is a one-way ticket to the grave. A wolf that takes unnecessary risk won't live long enough to pass its genes on to the next generation. A mountain lion that blindly charges at an unfamiliar object will go hungry tomorrow. Every large predator alive today is the descendant of the most cautious and calculating animals in history. And to them, humans look incredibly weird. We don't move, smell, or sound like anything they've evolved to consider food. If a deer senses danger, it freezes. A rabbit bolts. Every potential prey animal on the planet has a predictable, evolutionarily hardwired threat response, and predators know how to read those signs perfectly. But you are completely off script. You sleep absolutely motionless for hours on end. You breathe in a slow, almost mechanical rhythm. You don't even attempt to run. You radiate unnatural heat and carry a cocktail of bizarre alien smells that don't belong in the woods. Synthetic tent fabrics, bug spray, processed food, and campfire smoke. To a wild animal, nothing about your presence makes any logical sense. And on a deep, instinctive level, animals are terrified of things that defy logic. In animal behavior analysis, there is a concept called neophobia, the fear of anything unknown. In the wild, what you don't recognize will probably kill you. The smart evolutionary move is to keep your distance. Humans trigger this fear response at maximum capacity. Even our sweat is chemically bizarre compared to other mammals because of our diet and hygiene products. To a wolf or a bear, a tent isn't a buffet. It's an unsolved and potentially dangerous puzzle. There is also a much darker reason they avoid us. Humans have been the absolute apex predators of this planet for hundreds of thousands of years. We were hunting big cats, bears, and wolves long before we ever learned to write about it. We didn't just compete with large predators, we wiped many of them off the face of the earth. The dire wolf, the cave lion, the American cheetah, they all vanished largely because of us. The predators that survived learned, generation after generation, that humans are unpredictably lethal. A sleeping deer is just lunch. A sleeping human can wake up with a weapon in their hands. Biologists see this very clearly. In the most remote corners of the planet where animals have had zero human contact, they show curiosity and boldness, but where they have coexisted with us for centuries, they give us a massive, wide berth. This fear is a heavy historical lesson. Granted, we all know that attacks do happen. Hikers get ambushed on trails, and campers are occasionally mauled by bears. But if you look at the statistics, almost none of these attacks happen while a person is asleep. If such a rare incident is ever recorded, it is almost always driven by one of three reasons. Food conditioning. A bear that has learned to associate campsites with easy food stops, seeing humans as a threat. It starts viewing a camp like a vending machine with a reward inside. As the National Park Service says, a fed bear is a dead bear. Food conditioning completely destroys their natural fear. Desperation. An injured, sick, or starving predator that can no longer hunt its usual prey will override its instincts just to survive. Think of the famous man-eating lions of Savo in 1898. Researchers later discovered they had severe dental injuries, making it impossible for them to hunt buffalo. Surprise! If you accidentally corner an animal, stumble upon a mother bear with cubs, or startle a predator near its kill, it will strike. But it isn't hunting you. It's panicking and defending itself. Our fear of the dark and the forest is ancient. For most of human history, back when our ancestors were smaller, slower, and unprotected, this fear saved lives. But today, the numbers tell a completely different story. The U.S. National Park Service tracks every significant wildlife incident across the country. Every year, millions of Americans spend the night in tents, yet the number of fatal predator attacks on sleeping campers in all of recorded U.S. National Park history is effectively zero. To put it in cold numbers, you are statistically far more likely to be struck by lightning inside a park than to be attacked by a predator while sleeping in your tent. And you are much more likely to get into a car accident on the drive to the trailhead. So the next time you're lying awake in your sleeping bag, listening to a heavy rustling in the trees just outside your tent wall, just take a deep breath. Whatever is roaming out there has known you were there for a long time. It smelled your shampoo hours ago, heard you zip up your tent, and is consciously keeping its distance. Not because it can't get to you, but because deep in its evolutionary DNA, the number one rule of the modern wilderness is hard-coded. Humans are not prey. We are the super predators standing at the absolute top of the food chain. Sleep tight.